I realize I made a slight small mistake. Sometimes I teach too many classes. Edge Reflow basically will create the directory for you. Adobe Edge Animate doesn't create the folder directory, so I just basically put everything back in a folder. It didn't create the folder on the fly. Adobe Edge Reflow does that, and I just, my mistake on that. So, anyway, I just put this in a folder. Okay, what we need to do is Edge basically Edge created the HTML file. So I'm just going to move this over to the right a little bit so I can actually see my file name here. And here's the file that it created for us right there, the HTML file. So we're going to double click and open this up. Now, here's what we need to do. Really simple. I'm just going to go to Window for a second and close this file. We need to basically create an absolute path to all the files necessary to create this application. So what we can do, we already set up our FTP in Dreamweaver. If you don't know how to do that, I have a Dreamweaver course that teaches you how to do that, or you can use any FTP program that you want. But basically, you should know how to FTP, and quite frankly, you should know how to use Dreamweaver, and you should be taking my courses. So File, Preview in Browser, Firefox. So it's going to basically launch this to the server. Testing server, yes. Dependent file as well. We're going to manually do this, so it doesn't really matter what I do at this point. I'm just doing this to get to the path of the file, so I'm going to say no. And this is going to launch this inside of a browser window. So here's what I want to do. I want to take the path. This is the absolute path of the file right there. So I'm going to take this URL from point A to point B, and I'm going to go back into Dreamweaver and make some changes. So here we are back in Dreamweaver. So what I need to do is have an absolute path to this file, so I'm simply going to paste. Really that simple. Make sure it got the HTTP in there, make a change, save a change. Now let's understand some very simple deductive reasoning here. So what this did is basically this page here just triggers the other pages that are necessary to make this application work. So here's your Edge preload JavaScript. So let's go open that file as well. So I'm going to open up the preload file, which is this file right here. We need to make some simple modifications. Now, if you're looking at this and your head's going to fall off your shoulder, well, don't worry. We're not going to touch any of this code. We're just going to change these paths to absolute paths. So I simply put my cursor right there and paste. I put my cursor right there and I paste. I put my cursor right there. All I'm doing is creating an absolute path to the files that it's looking for. Make a change, save a change. Now we only have to do one other change. Command O, open. We're going to go and open up the JavaScript file. We just opened up the preload file. We're now going to open up the JS file. And the only thing we need to do to this is have an absolute path to the images, which is right up here on the top, var images. I'm just going to put my cursor right there, and inside the single quotation, I'm simply going to paste, make a change, save a change. So inside of Dreamweaver, because Dreamweaver is already set up to FTP, if I bring up my file manager, all I have to do is upload everything in this folder with the exception of the actual application itself. I don't have to upload the Edge application. I just need to upload everything else onto the server. I'm going to select this and simply upload. Now I'm just doing this. It doesn't matter what I do here because I've basically selected all the files I want to include in this upload. So it's going to upload this to the server. I'm just going to pause the video for a second because it's really boring stuff while it uploads. Okay, now that all the necessary files are uploaded to the server, we're simply going to go and look at the application. So it's going to take a second to come up here, and there's our application. Now, what's really cool about this is dynamic, so if I resize this, the images are going to resize as well because that's how we had it set up inside of Adobe Edge Animate. Really, really cool stuff. Now, the same exact scenario is going to happen for us also inside of Ultmatum. So in the next video, I will share with you how to take this code and put that into your Ultmatum theme framework or any WordPress or basically any site. So as an example, if you're going to basically put the same exact file structure on your existing server, then there's no real reason to basically do an absolute path. Everything can be relative. But if you want to, let's think about this intuitively. If you wanted to basically do some kind of banner and advertising like I do, I have over 600 websites that I personally take care of for my own business. So I'm constantly putting the same ads on many different sites, and they're all basically an absolute positioning. I'm sorry, an absolute path to those files. So in the next video, I will share with you how to very simply take this code and put it into your Ultmatum framework. So stay tuned.